monitors ready to get this underway. And of course, our judges for this season and throughout the whole rounds of every single belt of this championship will be David Kalas from the Czech Republic, Vernon Zenneveld from the Netherlands, and joining us from Poland will be Mateusz Jedzic as we see off the line Alexei Olovnia as he fires this 2JZ Toyota GT86 in at full tilt. This is the speed we're talking about.
Yeah, really aggressive right off the kick, getting into this long outside zone and getting way too close to the wall there. Doing a good job of dipping the front wheel in and pushing out to the other outside zones. This camber comes into play through this section. That track is way more banked than you think, but able to keep it together.
Cars all identical, so I guess it's easy for them to share parts. So there we go, scores are in for Holovnia, and it will be.
Back to the history, 73 might not be it.
No, and you know what, as we've seen before, you kind of get a bit of a baseline figure of where you think some of these guys are going to be after the first run, but look, things can quickly flip on their head and we can see some incredible scores on the second runs. These guys come off the start line, smoking tyres straight away as Sherelenko now fires that car in. Looks strong, very shallow angle though on that inside zone. You can see him scrubbing speed massively down. That's going to wash him off that zone. He does manage to get back into that long outside zone for a little wobble there as he makes his way up the hill. That, believe me, that is a hill when you're on the track. It looks completely flat right now. It certainly isn't. Finds that final outside zone and across the line goes Sherelenko. For our top 32 tomorrow, scores in, it's going to be a 59.5. This BMW E46. Looked like he was struggling with the car earlier on, yesterday, sorry, and maybe got that car fixed. So local Spanish driver, he'll be getting all the cheers from the grandstand as he comes off that newly revised start line, which we'll get more into tomorrow, where it all comes into play. You can see clutch kick initiation, nice, stays on the throttle, works it, gets into that outside zone a little early and leaves it just about on time. This one's going to be difficult. We're going to work our way through this as we get into more depth of qualifying. You can see that car not still 100%, he's struggling on power, takes out that cone in a zone, gets it across the line. It will be a score on the board, but
it's funny, they teach us about drifting, we teach them about being personable. It's
yeah, a good percent. We're going to move it along to Alex Perez from Spain, San Sebastian. Another BMW E46 2JZ, 750 horsepower. Now this guy looked like he was having no such issues in practice. He was out constantly. I haven't managed to see his runs yet, so this one's going to be interesting as he fires through the gears down. Big clutch kick for initiation, little wobble there. Now he's going to drop a little wide, trying to use as much of the tarmac and track as he can. And wide once again, but that isn't going to play into his favour. It's washed him down off that bank, and he's going to find himself on a very strange line, and it's wheels off track once again as he sheds the rear bumper. Now gets into the outside zone, trying to rescue anything he can from this run, but judges will penalise him there. Wheels off track, Jacob. Yeah, 0, and it makes sense. Is the line he took there. Balanos, another Spanish driver, 2JZ E46 BMW. See a pattern emerging here as well with the Spanish drivers.
Few in a row. I mean, hey, if it works.
I was going to say, look, it's we know the catalogue as well. S chassis, you know, the suspension kits and 2JZs. They just work. So why not? Now Rubens, a returning driver, wildcard this weekend, has been on the Driftmasters paddock before, didn't have success in Poland many years ago. Back now to try and prove his worth here at the championship. Gets on that handbrake nice and early. A nicer line now for Balanos as he gets on throttle, picks it up, lets the rear wheels fire up as he now works his way through this downhill section of the circuit, flicks it to angle. Nice line, nice on that inside zone. Can he wash out to that final zone? He could just about drop a wheel in it. Go 61 on the board there for Ruben.
15 years old.
These kids, when
semi-pro.
Apparently there's an under 10-year-old lad doing drift demos this weekend.
I totally believe it at this point.
There we go, off the line through the gears. Another Portuguese driver. And it's nice initiation. Look at that big aggression, big clutch kick on that initiation. Fires it in now, it's carrying the line. Look at that big scrub of speed. There is a decel zone right before that long outside zone. Very nice line here from Vieira as he fires down. There's a decel right there before that outside zone as well, as he picks up the throttle nice and early, right to the edge of the track. That was a beautiful run there.
Yeah.
And there we go, a 71.7 for... So we go back on the line, we go for another Spanish driver. It's Joan Cabala. And he's driving an RB30 S13, rare engine. Don't see these very often. I looked through the commentary notes yesterday and I was like, I'm interested because not many of these around. Only another RB on the grid, and that is of course underneath the bonnet of Dwayne McKeever's 180SX. Look at this, big scream, big flick, big aggression, and he's absolutely full tilt as he comes down off the throttle early, very early. And he's going to get on it, it's going to push him away from the outside zone. It does, he leaves it a little shy. Now he's going to have to work to get back on that qualifying line as Cabala now finds his way around this final outside zone. He's going to come up a little short, it's going to put him on a weird line, but he makes it work.
Cool.
Yeah, and there we go at 59.5 on the ball. One of our first drivers, not from Spain or Portugal, he's from Belgium. BMW E46 2JZ, another one, 800 horsepower, and it says in his commentary notes, it's just got all the bells and whistles.
I like
That's
it.
all you need to know.
Great way to build a car.
Yeah, full carbon Kevlar BMW E46, and look at this, absolutely flying down, big speed. Now the highest speed we've seen on initiation so far is 146 kilometers an hour. That is crazy, and they're gaining speed as they head to outside zone 4. Good line so far from Dennis Bertrand as he puts the back end of that BMW right up high. Oh, and a big mistake there though. He comes up a little short and had to adjust the steering.
I love the amount of aggression we're seeing at all the drivers today.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a trend. We're back on the line with another GT86 from that Trinity team, and he's a man that you're very familiar with. It is, of course, Dmitry Brutsky from the USA.
Yep.
But he's here.
Yeah, driver I know quite well. So Dmitry Brutsky, really aggressive into that first set of outside zones. A little bit of a left foot break in transition to get the car around, floats it out. Does a good job. It goes a little bit too deep exiting that zone early. Having to straighten out. So just, you know, that we talked about that aggression, just a bit too much into that section. But, you know, Dmitry in practice, exactly what he did there. He
at the wrong position on circuit, that's when you have problems. And there we go. If there's anything that gives a driver the go, it's getting a 0. We're back on the line with our first Irishman of the day, and it will be Fionn Roche from Mallow, 2JZ Toyota GT86 off the line, 975 horsepower as he fires that car in. A rookie last year in Driftmasters, a little wobble as he comes to the outside zone, now back for another full season. Big D-cell into this long outside zone as he works his way down, shallows up the angle, now stands on the throttle as Fionn Roche works his way through this tight flick, this inside zone collected, the outside zone collected and across the line.
Yeah, really.
Well, there we go, 71 dead, sorry. For
more screens.
More screens, more numbers for Jacob. Right, back on the line. I'm excited for this.
Yes.
Is, of course, the one and only Nakamura on the line. Naoki Nakamura on the line through the gears in this incredible 2JZ Toyota GR86. Flicks it in. Look at that nice angle. Look at the angle he's carrying down now as he puts that car right where it needs to be. Early flick to this outside zone. Big scrape on the handbrake though, and he's sacrificed a lot of line there, and he's had to work to get it back into the outside zone. As now Nakamura flicks the back end of that GR86 right where it needs to be. Big angle from Nakamura, but he's got it dialed. Clicks the clutch across the line. They said it was so close to not making it. It was unbelievable. There we go, a 70 dead. Excited to be back. Back in Driftmasters again from Cyprus is George Christoforou. BMW 1 Series E82 S50 turbo underneath the bonnet, the E36 M3 engine turbo. Look at that big flip. Misses that first outside zone though, now shallows up the angle, and this is gripped up to the max. As you can see how fast he's coming through. Nice line into this long outside zone. Oh, flirts with danger, almost gets a little too deep there. As he now fires down, looks for this final corner, this final outside zone's coming up, misses that inner though, picks up the final one and across the line for Christoforou, and work to be done to this young man. It is of course Espen Road from Norway, another car into gear. That's this BMW E46 M50 turbo, 1,000 horsepower. Screams through the gears, and you can hear him already spinning wheels as he clutch kicks the car to angle as Espen Road now puts it right where it needs to be. This looks good so far from the young Norwegian. Big handbrake drag, he sets himself up nicely for this long outside zone again. Another driver just dropping a wheel over that white line, but then picks up that perfect qualifying line, flicks it to angle, down he goes, big flame erupts from the back of the BMW, a little shy on the inner clip, but across the line he goes. Yeah, good. 0.5 for Espen Road. It's good to see him on the grid, coming together with their own driving style, and this mix is just insane. As we go to Finland now, to Jarkko Jula, who, again, another driver granted a license for 2025 for the full season. This crazy young man has a huge following from Finland. 2JZ, 900 horsepower, JZX 100, fires through the circuit. And as we know, Jarkko Jula likes to remove body panels well. Hopefully he won't get too close to the wall, but that's a lovely line in that long outside zone. Puts the car right to the edge of the circuit, and Jarkko Jula surprised everyone when he turned up to Finland as a wild card and fails to get to that inner clip, and I can hear the sigh from the judges. 84 on the ball though for Jarkko Jula. That's a statement from this young man.
It's the moment you and I have been waiting for.
Not this man though. He left the commentary booth right here at Driftmasters to do this job exactly, and it is of course a very good friend of mine, Dave Egan, ladies and gentlemen, off the line in this incredible carbon Kevlar 2JZ power Toyota Supra, as he flicks it in. Nice angle from Egan, shallows up a little bit there now, flicks it to angle on a wave. Oh, and he drops drops the wheel off the edge of the track, but he recovers as Egan now works his way round that long outside zone. Big clutch kick, you can see the front of the car pop up as he puts that grip down. Now dials it in, nerves flooding through the body of Dave Egan right now as he puts down his first ever qualifying run. He had on a 0, his first ever qualifying run, and 2. Oh yeah, of course, and that settles his nerves massively. Now a man that has no nerves and told me in an interview earlier on he's winning the whole thing is this man from France, Jason Benet. Unbelievable driver. What can he do right now as he fires through this incredible 2JZ Toyota GT86 Subaru BRZ, sorry, as he puts it right to the edge of the circuit. Look at this from Benet. He was on form in practice and he's on form right now. This man has dominated French drifting for a number of years and he said it's time. It's time to come to DriftMasters and prove my worth. Oh, and he just misses out on that inner zone, but across the line. But
it's going to be tough.
Well, there we go. A nice big score there for Jason Benet, and 80 in Poland by wrapping the car blue to announce to his team that he was going to be a father for 2025. And it is, of course, Yves Meyer from Switzerland off the line in this incredible Toyota GR Supra B58 underneath the bonnet, fires that car in. An incredible build, an incredibly nice man, and a man that's been learning and getting to grips with the DriftMasters layout. Look at that line. It was lovely. He just dropped a wheel out of that outside zone ever so slightly on the left foot brake there, keeping that car dialed. Now flicks it across the circuit, right to the edge of the circuit, gets a little early there to the outside zone, picks up all of them though. Was it the cleanest line? Way forward, yeah, I've been told that. Now 67.5 for Yves. I am surprised to see this man on the grid. That's been in the engine to make it out, and he's got on the line. It is, of course, Diogo Correa through the gears, a big clutch kick. Can that engine hold together? A little understeer there. He's carrying that much speed and pace. You can see him trying to lock up that front wheel, trying to put the car on angles. Correa fires it in to this long outside zone, but the car drops down. Big clutch kick once again for Correa as he fires through, trying to collect all the dots. Can he pick up this inside zone? He certainly can. Once again, on the foot brake across the line. Correa getting it done. Look how happy he is. And just wants to reset. And there we go, a 71 dead on the board there for Correa.
The vehicles is drifting.
Now, you were telling me some facts and figures the other day about nitrous, and I was like, I didn't think of it like that ever in my life, but now I do. Right, a man that lives very close to me is, of course, one of my good friends, Steve Baggsy Biaggioni, ladies and gentlemen, off the line in this 2JZ Toyota GT86. Look at that big flick from Baggsy, a big clutch kick, carries a nice angle, a little wobble though as he comes in, a little left foot brake now, fires the car across the circuit, handbrakes once, twice, tries to get the car in the outside zone, little check up there from Baggsy as he struggles to fulfill all that outside zone, now flicks it down the hill, puts the car onto big angle, kicks the clutch once again, looks for that final outside zone across the line. A scrappy run throughout his career. So there we go, a 74 on the ball for Baggsy.
Yeah, I think you're right with that.
I still think guys are struggling and trying to get to grips with the track. Don't forget, midday sun out right now, so the track is stickier than it was. A Black Spoke Racing. Jacob's got a smile on his face because he loves a diesel motor. Not so much for Timo Peltola though, because he's changed the engine twice, so it's a big mistake from Peltola. Fires that car onto angle, and this is not going to be good.
Yeah, they have been working on this car all weekend with different problems. So in fact, this is another driver that's probably just excited to be able to get through the run. Ah, man, dump back.
Yeah, back in business.
Yeah,
we know Timo. He's a bit of a showman, so we can keep the show moving on.
He likes to add some suspense.
Oh yeah, he'll do it all on the second run for sure. We go back to the line to Pontus Hartman, the man from Sweden, 2JZ powered BMW E46, 1,020 horsepower, and that 20 horsepower matters at this track, that's for sure. As they fire in right to the edge of the circuit goes Pontus Hartman, the quietest, likeable guy in the paddock. Big handbrake drag though in that diesel zone as Pontus Hartman now tries to put the rear wheel right to the edge of the zone. He does get it done as he drops down, collects that inner zone. Across the track he goes now, fires on the angle, a little scrub of the handbrake into that zone. Oh, and a weird line there as he collects all of the dots. 88 dead on the board there for Pontus Hartman, drops him into 10th position 2025. If you have not seen on social media, he has gone from a turbo V8 to a turbo 4-cylinder. He's halved the engine capacity, but he said it drives way better than it ever has before, and it has just as much power as he comes firing through the circuit as he locks up that front wheel. Zachary on the handbrake looks to get dialed into that long outside zone, and he's picking it up and he's collecting this one perfectly. Zachary so close to success so many times, but just been let down at the last moment by the engine or the car, and they're absolutely over the moon with that score. Always smiling, always happy, just happy to be in the race. Another show car Steve, that's what it is, another show car Steve. Here we go, off the line he goes through the gears, the Spossop fires it across. You can see guys avoiding that white line, and these cars have to not cross that in tomorrow's battles, but we'll get in tomorrow, that tomorrow in top 32 with Spossop. This is beautiful from Spossop, look at that line. Oh almost overcooks it, holds onto it as the man from Poland absolutely firing and laying down out here on track in Spain. Oh no! Oh, just there.
Heartbreak.
I think that's a misshift.
It might have been
Zero and incomplete there for season. Slots the visor down, slams the car into gear. A 2JZ underneath the bonnet of this BMW E92 M3 this year. 3.4 litre stroker, 900 horsepower as he kicks the clutch across the circuit. Boytolaxco, no messing around, gets into it, puts the car right to the edge of the circuit. Oh, big flick from Boytolaxco. Look at this. This is what we wanted to see. Just about holds on wheel on that white line as he now tries to fulfill all of these outside zones. Across he comes once again, flicks the car to angle as Boytolaxco again just about catches a front wheel on that zone and across the line. Heads. Looking at the car, a 78.5 for Boytolaxco.
It's like you could just, they show up and they immediately know, we're bringing all.
Look, new car is, of course, Clint Van Aert from the Netherlands as he fires through the gears, already smoking tyres on the back of this S14 as Clint Van Aert looking good last year, now feeling even more confident in a fresher chassis. A little wobble there as he slows that car down massively on handbrake, but puts it right to the edge of the outside zone. Clint Van Aert on the throttle now, flicks and works his way down. Little dab of the handbrake there, dials on big angle, and that could be the key.
That's
Jacob,
yeah.
as he gets to that final outside zone. Look, firing off the rubber, and there it is, a 79.5 judge. Back when took it round the car park and run, we go back to the line to Ite Sada in this incredible brand new build. It is an M2 kitted car, 3.4 litre stroker, 2JZ as Ite Sada, when he wowed us all in 2024. What can he do in 25 when he said he's coming back this time for a podium? Puts the car right where it needs to be. This young man is absolutely flying. A little shallow on that inside zone, but it doesn't matter as he fixes the car to angle. Down the hill he goes, picks up that zone just about and across the line.
Yeah, another driver really starting to use that. You're going to do with it, but
wow, and an 85 point. Go back to the start line to the next driver. Another 2JZ, 920 horsepower, carbon Kevlar S15. Not feeling comfortable out there. Said to me that he's struggling a little bit with the gearing. Couldn't really get the car dialed, but he's going to go out there and throw it all down. It looks like he's got it worked out so far as Jakob Kroll now works his way around this long outside zone. Look at that wheel right to the edge of the circuit. Picks up that inner zone now, washes wide and then comes down the hill, flicks the car, a little decel into that zone, dials on a bit of angle, does collect it and comes across. 82 on the board there for Jakob Kroll, our rookie of the year in 2024. Horsepower 2JZ S15, now full carbon Kevlar for 2025. Switched it up a little bit, changed the car, adapted the car. He said he knows now how the car needs to be for these competitions and how it needs to be for Europe. And look at this as Falvey flicks that car across the circuit, can handbrake drag, but gets it dialed into the outside zone. He now has worked out the kicks. This man apparently has done so many hours on the sim of this circuit. It is unbelievable. He said he knows it really well, and it looks like he knows it well as Falvey crosses the line. And Falvey drops it into first place. His hand there to Dave Egan saying, hey, with Mika Geski-Corby, it's not the same car, but it looks identical because it is bolt for bolt identical. BMW 2 Series, an F22 Eurofighter, S58 turbo, 900 horsepower, as Mika Geski-Corby from Finland fires down. Look at this, big speed from Geski-Corby into this long outside zone. He's absolutely ripping through the course, this Geski-Corby. This is the man that you've already put a wager on this weekend, Jacob. You've said, here's your guy. Oh, and he misses that inner zone across the line.
Thanks for that, Ian.
That score on the belt, and there we go, an 81 dead, and the score's starting to come in. The Estonian driver winning. On the podium many years back, hasn't been able to replicate it yet. M50 turbo underneath the bonnet of this BMW 3 Series E46. What can he do right now? Another man that was also full of confidence. These guys turn up to round one. Oh, and that's a big mistake. He went for that transition way too early and he had to handbrake across the track. Judges will not like that. How does he clean it up throughout the run? As Oliver Randalou flicks that car to big angle, and he's playing a dangerous game, but it works for him as he collects that inner zone and across the line.
Yeah, you can see how aggressive.
There we go, a 79 on the board for Oliver Randalou. Is of course the one and only Juha Rintanen, 2JZ Toyota GR86, 1,002 horsepower.
It matters here.
Every bit,
horsepower.
every bit. There we go. He's going to need every bit of horsepower in this car as he works his way through the gears. Already smoking tires. Look at that aggressive flick from Rintanen as he puts it right to the edge of the circuit. This looks beautiful already from the Finnish driver. Pops the wheel up into the curve. That's a lovely line. This is going to be a big score. Can he hold on to it as Rintanen now comes out the gate swinging, absolutely firing through the circuit. Big angle. Oh, can he hold on? Rintanen beaten and just about getting the job done as he pulls it across the line.
Oh, that was
a wow factor from me, a 78.5. But Jacob, you were right. God,
was wrong ones too. It was on a Tuesday.
you remember it well. You're reminded of it constantly.
I do, yeah.
Right, we go back to the line. So the former DriftMasters champion is, of course, the Polishman Adam Zalewski in this Toyota GT86. Changed the engine up, switched it out. S58, but big problems there already. Oh, look at that, aggressive on the curb. Popped the back of the car in the air. And Zalewski now trying to rescue the rest of this run. And I see him down in the paddock earlier on today. They had some wiring issues in the car. They were really trying to figure out some problems. And not looking good for Zalewski there, and 0 for Adam Zalewski, and it would have been that straight. And Adam Zalewski is this man who is a multiple DriftMasters champion, is the one and only Piotr Wojciech from Poland. Toyota Supra Mark 5, that GR Supra, 2JZ, 1,000 horsepower, through the gears, flicks it. As we have been eagerly awaiting to see this man on circuit all weekend. Oh, look at the aggression, the way the front end of that Supra dips down as he squeezes back onto the throttle and the bumper pops back up in the air. Look at this from Wojciech, it's absolutely incredible. Oh, big angle! Dials it on and maybe he's worked it out. Oh, that was clear. An 89.2 puts him in first place in qualifying at the moment. Well, there we go. Talking about a man that likes to go scary fast, it is, of course, the madman from Norway, Oran Nielsen. Right now, Sora, 2JZ, already missing body panels, already flexing the aero on this car, and it won't look this pretty for much longer with Oran Nielsen behind the wheel as he flicks that car right to angle into this outside zone. Nielsen, a man that is renowned for his line drive, and he would have seen or heard of that run from Wojciech, and he would have said, I can top that, I can do better than that, but he can't right there because he misses that zone and comes up shallow on that fighter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, there we go, an 82.2 on the board. Go back on the line to Benediktas Cherba, who told me earlier on just 2 days to repair and rebuild the car. And he did it here in Spain, of course, because it arrived back from the Middle East, and he said he had no time. He had to come straight to Spain to get it done. This man, the Lithuanian, is absolutely on it, as always this weekend, as Benediktas Cherba comes flying in. Been so close to success in the past, but never made it there. Always had that last-minute glitch, that last-minute issue, but it looks like there's no issues right now for Benediktas Cherba as he puts foot to floor, picks up that inner zone and across the line. That's clean. Well, there we go, and it is point proven for Benediktas Cherba. He do it. Yeah. It is the one and only, the Norwegian sledgehammer, as we named him many years ago. Tor Arne Kavir, ladies and gentlemen, off the line from Norway. A Nissan S13, 1UZ turbo, 950 horsepower. He said the only change he made for 2025 was more power and a new fancy paint job. And look at this from Tor Arne Kavir as he absolutely screams and fires through the circuit. Kavir puts that car right to the edge of the track. The anti-lag bangs as he hits the rev limiter. And Kavir now fires it on angle, collects the dots, puts it to the edge of the circuit. Kavir is not messing around and puts a statement on the board to all the big hitters and says, this is the year, because you're talking about speed. Yeah. And we go to the line to a man who wanted to start around the corner and go faster. He said,
he's the one.
Fifth gear would have been the key at this track. Well, here we go. It is speed himself. Jack Shanahan, ladies and gentlemen, from Ireland, 2JZ, 950 horsepower. And look at the speed of Shanahan as he fires that car across the circuit, pops the car onto the curb, rear wheels fulfilling the outside zone as Shanahan now absolutely ripping. I don't think he's lifted off the throttle yet as Shanahan kicks the clutch once again. Down he comes. He misses that in the zone, but he gets the job done.
Nice little snap to angle on that last.
It's going to be interesting. Here we go, an 88.5 for Jack Shanahan. He's all of it. Right, well, here we go on the line. His capacity V8 he could squeeze under the bonnet of the E92, and then he threw a supercharger on it, and he said this year I threw another 300 horsepower at it. It's 1,020 horsepower unleashed by Kevin Piscotty as he works his way around the circuit. Look at that left foot brake onto the throttle nice and early, fulfilling all of that outside zone. Collects that inner, back out to the outer as he now works his way down the hill. Hitting the rev limit, a big angle from Piscotty. Oh, it just catches him out a little shy there on that inner. Across the line he goes.
Yeah, not quite sure.
And 87, dead on the board. I think he will be happy. Succeeded in Spain in 2020 for turbo, 1,000 horsepower BMW M2. What can he do? He said he's coming for it this year. He said round one last year in Spain was great success, but then the season fell away from him. He said that's not going to happen this year. He's here to fight for it and he wants it, and that's a big dive across the circuit for Kevin Piscotty as he puts the rear wheels into the outside zone, picks up the throttle. Not sure on that inner. We need to take a look back at the replay of that as he now works his way down the hill, picks up that front, the car jumping around on track as he makes it across the line. Well, there we go, an 85.5 for Kevin Piscotty. The line for Paweł Korpalinski now from Poland. Nissan 200X S14 2JZ 900 horsepower. Not a lot of changes, he said, for 2025. Just rinse and repeat. Keep the car the same. Just keep driving it. He said it worked fine. And he knew what the car did every single round of 2024. And right now, he looks like he's absolutely back on form as he fires in big handbrake drag, but dials that car right into that outside zone. Keeps the rear wheel right to the edge of the circuit. As now he uses all of the tarmac available. Was once again, he shallows up the angle, doesn't dial on too much angle, and that just catches him out there. He comes up a little short on that inner. There we go, an 87 dead for Gorpolinski. In practice, when these guys had to do some quick repairs to the car, I'm not sure yet still what it was. As Connor Shanahan leaves the line on this 2JZ powered Toyota GT86, now 2023 champion. Now back out trying to redeem himself. Can he get himself back in that fight this year as he now works the back end of the 86 right to the edge of the track, right into that outside zone as he now fires through. And this is looking good for Shanahan. Little dab of the handbrake, very minimal slow in there. For Shanahan uses the angle to put the car where it needs to be, and that's clean. Exactly, there we go, an 87.5. Again, similar scores coming in. See, and of course it is James Dean from Ireland in this brand new Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5 DM. Hey, I got it out.
You got it.
Go.
Nailed it.
Through the gears, James Dean goes in this incredible naturally aspirated V8 nitrous car. And look at the bonnet flexing with the speed as Dean fires it into that zone. He gets a little wild over the edge of the line he goes, but he keeps it together as Dean rumbles through the circuit, erupts to the grandstand. Dean once again kicks the clutch, stands on the throttle across the line.
So when we talk about dynamic,
We go, it is a big score, an 89.7 for James Dean. It isn't first place. It's ahead of one guy. Dwayne McKeever, unfortunately, hasn't made it to the line for his first qualifying run. We'll get back to that because we're getting to this. It is your 2024 DriftMasters champion, Lauri Heinonen from Finland, through the gears in a car that he said he has barely touched all season. And listen to that Dodge V8 supercharger scream as he fires around this circuit in Spain. And Lauri Heinonen, from the get-go, looked like he was absolutely on it, but now starts to make a few mistakes, misses that inner zone. Can he collect this one? He's just a little shy on it, gets the job done. An 82.2 for Lauri Heinonen, now reigning and defending. Look, something as so unfortunate as a piece of rubber going in, catching that timing belt and causing critical engine failure is not what we want to see. But look, the show has to go on, and unfortunately we all will console with Dwayne McKeever later on as we go back on the line for our second round of qualifying, kicked off by this man, Alexei Golovnia, as he fires through in this Toyota GT86, now looking to improve on that score of 73. Works his way into the outside zone. This is a lot cleaner from Golovnia right now as he drops down and out of that little pocket on the circuit, back into this outside zone. Now works his way in, and look at this, very clean from Golovnia as he gets the job done across the line.
yeah, definitely a lot more confident through that run.
82.5, drops him into 13th position at the moment. And of course, Wondrzenko, another driver from Ukraine, a Toyota GT86, 902. He's got 1 horsepower more than Golovnia.
Hey, everyone counts.
Take it, you know. It's the bragging rights. Nice big clutch kick for initiation right now. Shurenko fires that car in, looks for that zone, fires that car across again. Another driver that's learned. These guys are exchanging notes in the paddocks. This is almost rinse and repeat for both of these two guys as they flick it through the circuit. Nice line as he works his way down into that inner zone. Just a little wobble there on the steering as he puts it across the line.
Yep.
Big improvement straight away there for Sure, there is a bunch of zeros. Pedro Garcia Sanchez now back on the line in this BMW E46, sitting on a 50 and struggling, saying this car, it looked to us visibly like it was down on power. And again, I think he's just trying to nurse this car around, trying to make it work. And you can see there, he just fires the car in, doesn't really want to react, and it just doesn't look like it's got the puff as he puts it into almost a spin. How he held on to that. Oh! And it gets the back end into the wall. As for Sanchez, and unfortunately that is the end of the weekend.
Angle at that point, so
90.4.
90.4 to be very specific.
Oh,
so
there we go.
I'm having fun with this Wally data, that's for sure.
Right, we go back on the line. It is Alejandro Perez Barraza through the gears. He goes, absolutely screaming. No mechanical sympathy for this young man as he puts that car right where it needs to be. And look at that big flick across the track, down with the handbrake, but he's going to be shallow on the entry to that outside zone. Tries to work his way through the groove, flicks the car across the circuit. Now this bit looks nice and simple, it flows very, very well, but there, it can catch you out, it can put you on the wrong point, and it did once again.
Versus
exactly that. So there we go, a 64. Reset, go again. We go back to the start line. Rubens Bolanos, another Spanish driver, 906, 900 horsepower BMW E46, sitting on a 61. And he's out of the show right now. As you can see, he's sitting in 34th place. Can he improve? Trying to work the back end. That BMW right into that zone. Now starts to clean it up a little bit as he absolutely hammers the rev limiter. Comes down, drops into that inner zone. Does a nice job there. Works that part of the track out. That's well, there we go. 74, and it is an improvement for Rubens Bolanes. He is. We move it through to João André Vieira from Portugal. 71.7. We was impressed with this. He's one of the guys that came out swinging. The Portuguese driver came out the gate hot and heavy and knew exactly what he needed to do. Look at this, fires the car right across the circuit, a big clutch kick, back on the throttle nice and early, locks that foot brake up, trying to get the car rotated and where he needs it to be, and that was nice, that line into this long outside zone. As he now works his way down, the line looks like it flows perfectly for him as he dials on the angle, a little down to the handbrake, down nice and early, close to the cone, but is he going to sacrifice the zone? He doesn't.
I was playing around with some other layout ideas in my head here too.
Oh really? You're already trying to mix it up. S13. RB30 underneath the bonnet. Sitting on a 59.5, so definitely needs to figure this one out. As you can see him slot through the gears, a big clutch kick. He lights the tyres from almost the start line as he now fires through. Oh, and he's so wide. He's very, very wide. How did he hold on to that? But that will be wheels off circuit. I've got a feeling that's going to be a complete zero.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. Now he looks like he's just having a bit of fun.
Yeah, he's just firing angle at it now. And he's like, I just put on a show for the fans.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, an off-road British Dennis Bertrand right now from Belgium, BMW E46, full carbon Kevlar as he comes off the line. He was looking good earlier on, but he does need to improve. At 58.5, there was a few mistakes creeping into that run, but we know he's got something in the bag. You know he's got more than that. Look at that very shallow angle, though. He took a lot of angle on it. And again, that mistake creeping in as he makes his way into that long outside zone. He just couldn't get it together. As Bertrand now works his way through. A big check-up once again there. And he's now starting to put a lot of mistakes in. He's going to go wheels off on a spin before the line.
They have to be competitive, so it is a zero on that.
It's going to be Dimitri Bruschi, who is already sitting on a zero.
Yes.
So he would have gone back. 3 cars, all identical. Is there anything that the team could have gave him?
He knows pressure. I'll tell you that right now. Dimitri Bruschi knows pressure.
Well, here we go. Can he put that pressure into performance as he fires that car in? Nice line already as he starts to work the groove. Look at that, right to the edge of the circuit. Fires that car through. No mistakes at the moment. On throttle, picks it up nice and cleanly throughout that outside zone 4. Now, very nice line as he works his way around using every inch of tarmac available. As Dimitri Bruschi just comes up a little short on that inner clip, but across the line. And that's Dimitri as he foots down a 76.5. He'll be happy here at DriftMasters. We go back on the line to the Irish driver, Fionn Roche, in this Toyota GT86. 71 on the board in the first qualifying run. Absolutely nails the throttle off the line through the gears. He goes up to 4th gear, clutch kicks that car, and you can hear it screaming as he drops a wheel, picks the front wheel up. That freewheel motion coming into play like a lowrider as he works his way around. He's deep into the wall, tags the wall as Fionn Roche, and it now starts to fall apart ever so slightly for the Irishman. And you can see it's rocked him a little bit. Now he's having to think about what he's doing as he kicks the clutch again across the line. There we go at 59. He stays where he is, 29th though.
I mean, this is another driver that could make a jump up, gain a couple of points.
Well, he needs to, that's for sure. He's sitting on a 70 at the moment, is Nakamura. Nakamura off the line in this Toyota GR86. Through the gears he goes to Jay-Z. Said that this is the most comfortable car he's ever driven, and he was so excited to get back to Europe. He couldn't wait to get here. And look at that as he dives across the circuit. That's much better from Nakamura as he now keeps it clean in the outside zone. Fires through, picks up the throttle nice and early, hits the rev limiter as he transitions down. Look, dab of the handbrake as Nakamura picks up that inner zone, looks for the final zone across the line, clean.
Of Nakamura. And there you go, 85. Bumps him up into a...
Say that Nakamura is like a cat amongst the pigeons at DriftMasters. That's what I like to do. It's like throwing a lion into the pen. Here we go, we're off the line though. It is going to be George Christoforou as he comes off the line. The Cypriot driver is BMW E82. Fires through, look at that big speed. But once again, that grip, that speed is catching him out. And this is almost a rinse and repeat, a replay of his first qualifying run, way out of that outside zone. He's going to dart across the circuit. He's going to be on the wrong line now as he comes down. Looks, gets that way early. It's going to push him wide again, making the same mistakes over and over here.
Yep.
And there we go, at 56.7, he's out of the show. Unfortunate driver, BMW E46 on the line. This young man, well look, 69.5. definitely needs to improve, and he is now so focused. Look at this, the Norwegian style, eyes down, concentration on as he fires that car through. Now it looks good. Picks up these two zones, on throttle nicely as he fires in, gets on the handbrake, doesn't slow the car too much though, keeps it into the outside zone but exits it a little early, and that's pushed him wide, and he misses that inner clip as he now fires through. Down he goes into that almost carousel moment, and he's gone wide once again, and the same mistakes being shown once again. On the drop zone in 32nd position is 70. Back to the start line to Jarkko Ulla from Finland, 84 in his first qualifying run. This young man is promising. He looks like he could shine this year at DriftMasters as he fires through the gears in his Toyota JZX 100. A big car and a big fast track. What could he do now on his second qualifying run? Look at the way the car pops up in the air on the handbrake. He's gone very deep. He hangs onto it though. Jarkko Ulla puts the car right across the circuit, fires it on angle, slows the car down, little dab the handbrake, collects the dots though, hits up that final zone and across the line. Judges won't have liked that as much, and they didn't. He's going to stay where he is in 12th position at the moment. I think he's going to be safe for competition after his first qualifying run. I think he got a little nervous, a little rush of blood to the head, a little panicky. He said he just wanted to get that one done and survive. Well, he needs now to not only survive but put a score on the board, as we see Egan flick through the gears, fire that car across the circuit. Nicer line this time, more aggression, and he keeps it on the tarmac as Egan flicks it through. No mistakes at the moment, big handbrake drag, but he sets himself up nicely for outside zone 4. Egan back on throttle, another big clutch kick from Egan in that Toyota Supra, fires it on angle, and he's got it together as Dave Egan gets that zone and across zone 2 for Dave Egan on his debut at DriftMasters. Yeah, I think the math's mathing right there. My maths is bad. Right, Maffin, talking about Maffin, Jason Benet said, hold on a minute, an 82, is that it? Hold your hat, I'm going for a 90. This is going to be big from the Frenchman right now. I've said big words about, look at this, from Jason Benet, big angle on the handbrake for quite a while, but he dials that car into the outside zone. Look at the line, he puts a rear wheel right to the edge of the circuit. Benet picks up the throttle. This is fantastic from the Frenchman. Look at the angle. Oh, and he's just shy on that inner, but he comes across the line deep on the outer. But look at that, an 85, he just improves, but keeps. We go back to the line to Yves Meyer from Switzerland, a 67.5 for this young man in this blue Toyota GR Supra as he comes off the line through the gears. Now, absolutely rip him is Yves Meyer from Switzerland. He'll want a big score. He's in the front and dip down and then back up again as he puts a big clutch kick in. What can he do as he fires across the track? This is a nicer line from Yves Meyer. And again, this is a man that's learning on the fly. Every single event, he gets better and better. And Yves Meyer's time to shine is coming up real soon, because this is very nice from the man from Switzerland across the line. These guys is away, and look at that, he's rewarded with it with a 78.7. Regardless to what anyone else does now in competition, Dave Egan, regardless, will finish 32nd. So he's in the show. So there we go. We get to talk about him more tomorrow. We're off the line. It's going to be Diogo Correa right now up in this incredible E92 BMW. How this car is still holding on, I have no idea. But he's now turned up the grip and turned up the power, I'm being told. He's turned it up to 11 because Correa said if it's working, we're going for it. As he puts the car right to the edge of the circuit. Correa's here for business. The Portuguese driver's got it dialed. He said the car's on fire and so am I. Went home the end of the year happy, and look at that, an 85.5. Drops him to the kinks and go back on the line to a man, as I said, I know very well, Steve Bagsy Biagioni on the line in this incredible Toyota GT86 2JZ, 900 horsepower off the line. What can he do? As Bagsy sits with a 74.5, he'll want to improve. Big flick across the circuit early. Look at this. Big smoke from Bagsy. Did he loosen up the car? Nice line as he works his way into outside zone 4. Keeps it clean right to the edge of the circuit. Bagsy drops down and back out again as he now works his way around that carousel, that hill section of the circuit. Can he get the inner? He can just about drop a wheel on it. Right to the edge of the track across the line. There we go. Look at that. An 80 dead for Bagsy. Drops him into 20th position. You've already got a smile on your face.
I just love this car.
Maybe we'll see if Timo will let you have a drive of it.
Oh, don't say that. Don't get me excited.
Here we go, off the line, the crazy man from Finland in this incredible diesel Mercedes-Benz wagon. Flicks it through, and it looks like once again, there's parts falling off the car, and it looks unstable, and it looks wild. As Timo Peltola still fires it towards the wall to try and put on a show for the crowd here at Jarama Circuit in Madrid. And that big moment of understeer, I don't think that car could hang. The front tyres couldn't hold 5. Unfortunately, isn't enough to see Timo Peltola in. We go Pontus Hartman on the line now from Sweden. And what can he do in this BMW E46? As as we see shots of Marco Zaccaril down the back end of the grid, warming up tyres, ready to rock and roll. Thomas Hartmann flicks that car in, big clutch kick, dials that car an angle. Now starts to pick up the pace as he dials on the handbrake, gets to that zone early, and look at that, the line he takes in, sets himself up beautifully to fulfill all of it, drops down lovely for that inner zone, and now back out, still on throttle, a little dab of the handbrake. This is beautiful from Hartmann, this is absolutely clinical, and across the line he goes, so happy he throws in a 360 for the fans.
Perfect.
Well, there we go, oh, look at that, he's rewarded as well, a 78 on the board. Run the man from the Czech Republic. As we said, swapping over from that V8, half the engine size to a four-cylinder. Loved the style, loved the idea, the work that went into it, and he said it works perfectly, and he's very, very happy, and it looks like he's happy behind the wheel, and it looks like he's happy on the track, because he's absolutely ripping right now, sets himself up lovely for this outside zone, and you can hear him on and off the throttle, working that car into the groove. Gets himself right to the edge of the circuit, almost drops the wheel but holds on to it. Zaccaril now dials on the angle almost 90 degrees to that inner zone, and across the line Zaccaril, another driver that will be very, very happy. Does improve, and Zaccaril, I mean, down. If he could just get that reliability dialed, this could be the season that Zaccaril really shines as a driver. We know he has the talent. We go back to the line, talking of more talent, is the young gun from Poland, David Sposób. Off the line in this S15, sits on a 0, if you remember correctly, had that mistake at the end of the run, shut it down, now looks rock steady. Can he keep this one together? It looked good right until that moment where he shut it down on that last inner zone. As Sposób fires through, puts the car right where it needs to be, back on throttle again, dials on the angle, no such problems this time as Sposób gets it across the line, job done. Yeah, 86.5 for Sposób, gets him where he needs to be.
This shows, though, that a safe...
These guys aren't wired right.
Speaking of something that's not easy to say, you help put the Lexo.
You got it nailed. There you go, you did it, you got it.
I had to say it fast.
Bud Lasko off the line, 2JZ this year, underneath the bonnet of this BMW E92, and looks like it's working perfectly for him. Alternator issues earlier on in practice, had to do some welding to the block to put the alternator back on to get him back out for practice, and now looks like he's absolutely swinging. Juha Poitalasko is a man that is absolutely possessed. The Finnish driver is cool, calm and collected and very dialed as he gets that one done.
Yeah. 5. Jeez.
He
scores back in a minute, but let's give Clint Van Aert his flowers here. The judges are kind of harsh today.
Yeah,
I'm just putting that out there.
They're being very critical of this circuit. They know it can be done. They know it can be done well. They just need to see it. Clint Van Aert right now comes in absolutely hammering through. And look at this big speed, big angle, big amount of smoke out the back of this brand new S14 for 2025 for Clint Van Aert, right to the edge of the circuit. And this is beautiful from Van Aert right now. The Dutch driver means business. Oh, yes, Clint Van Aert. Oh! And a little check up and a clutch kick, almost. Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't improve.
26.
And it is Kuba Pashkonski, or Yafri team in the paddock, jumped in and helped him repairing it. He's back out for his only qualifying run that he'll get, as Pashkonski now puts that car right where it needs to be, fires through on full throttle. He's not phased, he's not worried about what happened earlier on. He goes right to the edge of the circuit. He said, look, we can make it look pretty this afternoon, this evening. Once this is over, he just needs to get himself into the top 32. Fires down, looks for that inner zone, just about picks it up, locks the front wheel. That can't be easy to drive, but he makes it work. Oh, and it is, it's an 81. Right, happy, and he's so thankful of everyone. I mean, what a community we have in drifting, that everyone jams together. It's so great. Right, back on the line, Itay Seda off in a brand new car, 1,000 horsepower, BMW M2. Through the gears he goes. This young man showed incredible resilience and talent last season. He's going to go wide. Oh, he just about keeps it on circuit. Uses that momentum to fire it across the circuit. You can hear him on the rev limiter as he lights up the tyres on the back of that BMW. Fires through, looks down the track. He comes, dials on some nice big angle, almost 90 degrees. Again, just about scrubs the wheel along that inner clip and across the line.
Without that kind of hump. So.
Yeah, not as good as radio. Yeah. And the guy going, hey, no. Right, here we go, back on the line. Jakub Kroll from Poland. He's just on the line with an 82 at the moment. Off, though, through the gears. He said he didn't feel confident. Oh, that wasn't a nice initiation, but nevertheless, he's going to get into it. He looked rock solid on that first qualifying run. He looks settled now as well. Now he's got back into the zone and back on that qualifying line. Jakub Kroll, a very good line driver, a very consistent driver, and a man that has shown so much promise in the past. Look at that line as he drops down and back out again. They float around the circuit. It's just a driver's car, and we move it along down to Connor Falvey. Well, could we see, well, we're going to see both the Drift Games guys in the top 32.
Yeah.
If Connor Falvey knocks this one out of the park, he could end up facing off against Dave Egan in the top 32.
Oh.
That would be interesting. Not pushing for it a lot, I am, the whole way. Look at the angle, though, that Falvey fires in, though, as he puts that car to angle, gets it dialed on the outside zone, and look at the line. This young man, I'm telling you now, is so talented. It's unbelievable. That sim drifting coming through. Look at that big clutch kick, dips it down and across.
Oh. Biff for Connor Falvey.
Yeah, no, super humble, a very nice guy, and you see him around the paddock very quiet and very respectful. You go back to the lines, another man super respectful. It's Mika Keski-Korpi from Finland, this BMW F22, new chassis, same look. As Keski-Korpi fires that car in, big clutch kick, look at this. This is Jacob's bet for the weekend. Well, he's going to have to hold on to it. Whoa, that flick was gangster, as he absolutely throws it down. This young man, again, has come out this year swinging from when we first see him in Driftmasters a few years back. And look at this from Keski-Korpi, was rewarded as well. Look at that, an 82 for Keski-Korpi. And
I need some.
You go to Finland, drink the water.
Got it.
That's what I've been told anyway. That's what they tell me. Okay, there you go. Back to Estonia we go, and it's going to be Oliver Randalou, BMW E46, M50 Turbo, fires that car in. This young man, super confident as well, looking good out there. Oh, look at that line, that's absolutely beautiful. Gets to that curve nice and early, uses all of the track, utilises that track the judges said he was allowed to use to get to that outside zone, flicks the car through, and again he's using every inch of tarmac available here in Spain as he puts it across the line, and that was absolutely stunning. Jump up for Oliver Randall, 87.5 into 6th position at
compared to Laurie Heinen, who was 98. So, but even still, it's only 6
even still, like, yeah. There is nothing separating these guys this weekend. Juha Rittinen now comes off the line from Finland in this beautiful GR86. Through the gears he goes, 1,000 horsepower. You can see the way he's working that wheel, puts the car right to the edge of the circuit. Look at that, almost tips the wheel over but holds onto it. Now balances that car but gets to it too early, and it's a big mistake from Rittinen as he can't fulfill all of outside zone 4. Works the back end of that GR86 across the circuit into the zones, dials on the angle, on the throttle nice and early. It's a beautiful line for the last part of the track, but the big mistake. Rittinen popped up, not improving, stays where he is in 30th position. Adam Zalewski on the line right now. He is the only guy that can upset top 32. Dmitry Brutsky sits in 32nd place. 76.5 is the score that Adam Zalewski needs to get in the show and take Brutsky out. Can he do it right now? We see a little problem with the car earlier. There they got it fixed. Is it 100%? He slams through the gears. The former Driftmasters champion needs to get it all done right now. You can hear that car on full tilt. It's not that good on the outside zone. He gets to that zone very nicely. Oh, he's deep into the wall. He runs the wall, takes the tail light out the back end of it. As he comes through, the car doesn't sound 110%, but he's trying his best. As Zalewski puts foot to floor, clutch kicks the car, and it struggles to get across the line. Yeah, rough go. There we go. He is in by a hair. Everybody else after this point right now is in the show and in competition. We go back to the line. Now it's just for kudos. Now it's just for that top spot. Who will take it in qualifying? Can it be this man? Will it be the former Driftmasters champion, Piotr Wojciech, as he fires through in this A90 Supra? Look at the aggression, look at the angle. Oh, look at the line. It's textbook right to the edge of the circuit, as the Polishman now is not messing around. He's got this car figured out. It took him a while, but now he knows the way it works and the way it wants to be driven. Yeah, going to be a very good year. And look at that, he already comes out with have played an ace card. They've said, oh, you want to be the best in Europe? Well, show us. Yeah. Show us what you've got. You think you're the best in the world? Show us. Well, here we go. Oran Nilsson through the gears in this Sora, fires that car in, big clutch kick. As I say, this is kudos right now. Everyone's in the show. This is for the top spot in qualifying, and we've just seen what Wojciech can do. And now look at Nilsson. He's been top step before. Can he do it again? He's been top of qualifying. He fires that car through, looks for the edge of the track, picks up the zones, puts the rear wheel to the edge of the tarmac. These guys are now on another level. Yeah, this is, I mean, here's... Yeah. And here we go, an 86 Taschurba right now as we start to really pull out the big guns right now as Benedictus Scherber comes off the line. This incredible 2JZ E92 BMW, fresh back from the Middle East just a few days ago. And Scherber looking a little wavy there as he struggles to get that car on power. Now finds it into the groove, into the outside zone. On the line he goes down. Does Scherber absolutely flawless at the moment. Looking good, dials on the angle, picks up that inner, and now these guys are really in the zone.
Yeah, he worried me to...
Look, I've said it before, Cherba very quiet. Look, Torane Kavir, he topped qualifying, but he's been knocked down a peg by Piotr Wojciech. He won't like that, Kavir. Kavir wants to be the guy this weekend. He'll be on the hunt right now for that top step. What can he do, though? A few points left in the bag, and look at this smoke from the back of Kavir's car. Full commitment on the handbrake. Look at the line into outside zone 4. Keeps it clean as Kavir now drops down. A little shallow, maybe. But who am I to judge on this man's driving right now as Kavir dials the angle in, picks up the front clipping point, dumps the clutch across the line. Kavir there. Oh, are you kidding me? We go back on the line. And now you've got Jack Shanahan, who at the moment is sitting with an 88.5. He won't want to miss out on the 90 part. He'd want to be up there nice and high as well. Through the gears he goes, a big flick to angle, and now Shanahan's starting to work this one out. Look at this, every inch of tarmac is in use. This is unbelievable. These guys are a different sauce right now as Shanahan starts to find the groove, gets himself across the circuit. Shanahan, a little dab with the handbrake, sets himself up on the rev limiter. Absolutely brilliant across the line.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Here we go. Oh, on a 90.5.
Our best drivers are still just entering into the 90s.
Yeah.
So there's room to go.
Right, Kevin Pascotti from Hungary off the line in this incredible BMW E92. More power this year, another 300 horsepower. Can he put it to use right now? Maybe he left some in the tank for first qualifying run. He certainly did, because now he's coming out absolutely ripping. Look at that from Pascotti. I want to know if he kept both the rear wheels in that zone as he comes through. Down the hill he goes, looks to dial on the angle, picks it up. Oh!
No! Nice. I like that number.
10's good round number. Let's finish here. So we go back on the line. Kevin Passer. He'll be feeling confident for sure. Look at this. He's absolutely dialed into the zone. Doesn't even want to look at the camera as Kevin Passer sits on the line. An 85.5 as he fires through the gears. That car hitting the rev limiter as he shifts gears. Now fires through. Very shallow angle, but he makes it work. That car gripped up to the 9s. He dials on big angle. Can he pull it off? He certainly can as Kevin Passer now works his way through. Looks for that inner zone. Looks for the outer zone. Fires that car to angle. Slows the car down on big angle as he picks up the zones and across the line.
Yeah, solid line.
Jumps him into 10th position at the moment.
Almost every time we put a lap.
Run.
Yeah. So, benefit going later.
It certainly is. Right, off the line, Paweł Korpolinski from Poland. 2JZ Nissan 200X S14A fires through. And this man really does come alive in the chase driving. He's a very good line driver, another sim driver behind the scenes as Paweł Korpolinski puts that car right where it needs to be. A little shallow on some of these zones. Now dials that car in an angle. Barely touches the handbrake to slow it down. Back on throttle nice and early and across the line. 88.5, just barely improves. 5th position. Here we go. Top 4 starts right now. Connor Shanahan sits on the line. What can he do? The 2023 champion works his way through the gears in his 2JZ Toyota GT86 and flicks the car across the circuit. Big clutch kick from Shanahan now. Shallows up the angle, goes right to the edge of the track. He knows what these guys have been doing. He's very good at watching everyone else, and he does. Rinse and repeat, copies everyone else, gets that car glued to that outside line, puts it right where the judges want to see it. Can he hold this one together as he fires on big angle, barely touches the brake, as Shanahan goes to the edge of the track and across the line.
Yeah, and that in-car right at the beginning.
Shanahan, 5th place, just drops below. The top 10 is delightful. We go back to the line to James Dean in this incredible brand new Ford Mustang RTR. He comes off the line, that V8 screaming, a bag load of nitrous to get her alive as he hangs on and fires through. Listen to the sound of that V8 as Dean fires it through. Look at this from James Dean. He won't want to get left out. He'll want to be top spot, and it looks very good at the moment as Dean goes right to the edge of the circuit and right to the edge once again. A dab of the handbrake sets Dean up for that inside zone, right to the edge and across the line. That is flawless. I don't care what anyone says. No. Oh, and it is, and James Dean is back, ladies and gentlemen, to go. Who will want to stop him dead in his tracks. He's got the target on his back. He is the reigning and defending champion. He has the biggest amount of fans supporting him and pushing him and willing him along. Can Laurie Heinen take the top of qualifying, or will he be the bridesmaid once again as he fires through? Look at the line from Heinen, and he's clinical. He's absolutely dialed in as Laurie Heinen would have seen that score drop in and he would have said to the judges, there's more out there. This is unbelievable. I don't think he's touched the brake. It's across the line. It's so fast. It
Makes it so incredible.
Oh,
Not
and it's
quite.
not. And roll with our first qualifying showdown of 2025, and this is the setup of our new start line. Jack Shanahan sits 8 meters behind the lead car. James Dean sits there with a beam crossing at the front of his car. Once our start line marshal presses the button, once they give the thumbs up, he has a second to leave the line, a second to break the beam. Otherwise we will see our strobe flash red. That means it's a false start. They've got used to it, they've been doing it in practice, its system works very, very well, all the drivers are happy with it. Now it's time to put it into perspective as they sit on the line, ready to rock and roll, and there you go, it gets a proper launch off the line, no messing around, side by side, oh, Shanahan aggressive already, no messing around, he goes for the back bumper of that Mustang as Dean fires it across the circuit. Shanahan lost a little bit there, but Dean now wanders and wavers in outside zone 4. Can Shanahan make up some lost ground? He can, as it opens up for him, he dives down on the inside, goes for the door of James Dean's Mustang and pushes him across the line.
Ah, what a great one.
Jump a little bit over the line. Now, the chase driver can do that. They can cross that line and start creeping forward.
Yeah, it's
Shanahan, sorry.
It's a strategy, for sure.
It's a strategy, yeah. Shanahan slams the door closed. Look, gets that green light, has to go. Puts the car through the gears. Dean already following him, already on the back bumper. That GT86 as they fire in. Now Shanahan starts to pull a little ground, but Dean goes for it, transitions a little earlier as Shanahan gets into outside zone 4, puts the back end right where it needs to be. Oh, and Dean is glued to the side of Jack Shanahan. Almost contact, it's bumper to bumper and transition as Dean goes for the door of Shanahan's 86 across the line.
This gives you an idea of it, but yeah, for sure, Ian.
Well, there we go. Let's take a look at our new graphic for 2025. Slide them left to James, right for James, or left for Shanahan. There we go. It's unanimous. James Dean gets the win and advances through.
So the drivers now get the choice. The higher qualifier gets to decide if they want to lead or chase first. This is going to play into so many scenarios. I can't wait to geek out about it later, but Piotr Insek taking lead off the gate.
There we go, yeah, sits in that lead position. Look at Kavir, absolutely chilled, ready to go, no stress.
Does he know? He
knows
racing?
He's got a battle.
Okay,
apparently they've
check.
told him. They
Yeah.
downloaded the data for battles, so, I mean, who knows?
They sent him an email.
Got to get this, they creep off the line as now they go through the gears. They get that green light, and look at that, Kavir on the back bumper. The transition, the initiation was impeccable from both of these guys, absolutely firing. Oh, and a wobble from both guys as they jump on the handbrake to slow the cars down into the outside zone. Kavir lost in the smoke, he's going wide. Can he hold on to it as Vicek absolutely fires away? And this one could be Vicek's in the bag as Kavir has nothing in this one whatsoever. There was a wobble.
Got it.
I don't know. He's calling over our start line, Marshall, and I can't run. You're out of competition. Here we go. They're off the line, ready to go. Kvyat leading Piotr Vicek for the second run of this qualifying showdown battle through the gears. And look at this now. Kvyat absolutely screaming. Vicek, though, on the back bumper. A little wobble once again. Both guys slow down into outside zone 4. Vicek is right with him. Vicek is there onto the front wheel. On the door he goes. Vicek absolutely screaming. Dives through the smoke. A little wobble. Maybe caught himself out there as Kvyat misses that zone. And wobble, it was shutting my door and all this. Here we go. Slide him left for Vicek, right for Kvyat. Who's going to take it through to face off with James Dean? It's going to be Piotr Vicek, ladies and gentlemen. Vicek goes through, and the judges hand me a piece of paper that says, check, 2 incredible cars, 2 incredible drivers, 2 former Driftmasters champions. They go head to head at round 2 here in Spain.
Former teammates, too. Like, what year is it right now? Are we sure this isn't like 2018?
We got back into position as the higher qualifier, the man who tops qualifying. Don't forget, this doesn't affect qualifying whatsoever. The grid is the grid. This is just for kudos. This is just for more points in qualifying. Peter Vicek now thrown the gauntlet by James Dean and said, what have you got?
Yeah.
You think you're good? You need first.
Look at the grid.
And look at Dean, he's grinning. 2 former teammates, 2 good friends behind the scenes. Dean wraps the knuckles. He does the hand exercise. They get the thumbs up from Martin. This is it. The end of qualifying is almost over as they're off the line. It's going to be Wycheck to lead out James Dean for the final battle in our qualifying showdown. Oh, are you serious? This is going to be an insane weekend. Bumper parts spread across the track. Fog lights out. Oh! Wow! Big accident. Wow, and nobody see that coming.
Okay, we have movement from both drivers.
And it looks like both guys could be okay. You see movement from both cars. Yeah, it looks like both guys. Us and the teams. Well, the decision is in. Slide them left for Dean and right for Wycheck. And there we go. The winner of our qualifying showdown will be Piotr Wycheck. He gets the win. And a new rule this year, Dean calls the incident. That means that Peter Wycheck gets the win and will be our qualifying showdown winner. James Dean still will top our qualifying standings. But Peter Wycheck will be our round 2 qualifying showdown winner. A sad way to end what has been an incredible day so far.
Yeah.
But look, we're going to look forward to tomorrow, where top 32 kicks off. We've got an incredible